let's get into the Sheffield Wednesday accounts because thank you for waiting, by the way. I know you wanted us to speak about this for a little while, but there's been so much with the end of the season going on. I know they were published a couple of weeks ago, but Sheffield Wednesday are still hemorrhaging money, so it's important to talk about because it's going to affect quite a bit. The good thing is I didn't have to fully do what I usually do when these accounts come out because it's been a couple of weeks. Everybody's sort of already reported on it, so we can discuss everybody else's work, which is fantastic. We're copying your homework, but we will quote you, of course. The Star have done a really good piece on it. Fair play. They pulled out the key points that I usually pull out with the without me having to look at the numbers. But I have got the accounts in front of me as well. So if I see anything that I want to point out, I will point out. But I will go from the Star article that says, quote, turnover fell by 9.2 million to 11.7 million from the previous 20.9 million in 2020. These are the accounts for the 2021, by the way, so 2021 season. Primarily due to all home games being played behind closed doors. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the team finished 24th in the Football League Championship. As previous, the season before, 16th. Sheffield Wednesday's 2021 accounts explained in the plain English, 500,000 lost per week. We've called in football, we haven't, the Star have, football finance expert Kieran Maguire to drag his expert eye over the Wednesday accounts. It's important to remember these are accounts from last season, which was, of course, played behind closed doors. In plain English, here are the key talking points explained. So what are the headline takes? The eye-catching figure is a loss of 25,780,000, a figure up from 24,084,000, which was the loss in the 1920 season. Over to Kieran, who puts this into context. Quote, the main thing here is that the revenue almost halved, and that is certainly linked due to the impact of COVID and almost total loss of matchday revenue. The wage bill did come down, but as of last season, they were still spending £209 for every £100 of income. That's scary on two levels. That number itself, but also that there are clubs in the Championship that are in a far worse situation than Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday reveal latest accounts. I don't know why. The way you've paraphrased this article here, Jake, is fun. Because Jake's added to this one as well this time. I usually do the accounts. I've had assistants.
Probably not for the better.
Do you know what? I've read all of that. We know all of this. We know that Chancery still owns the stadium.
Yeah.
30 million owed on that, right? He was due to pay, this is from the article again, quote, he was due to pay back 7 million per year, but he paid bigger instalments earlier, partly because the club needed the cash because of the significant losses. He's already paid four instalments, essentially half of the sale proceeds from the stadium. It's also noticeable that the club has been paying him back in terms of loans, 5.5 million, of which he has relent about half of that according to these figures. The club are still in a paying around 1.5 million per year rent on Hillsborough. That's something we knew before. Wednesday have been stung by financial fair play points deductions before. Is there any chance of that happening here? Panic not, Wednesday fans, though the idea the club will be able to go rampant in the transfer market in the summer may have to be parked.
Yeah. Do that anyway because we're still very close to that FFP line kind of thing. And it's interesting, the account this year, because a lot of people forgot that this is the season we went down and there was a lot of things in that season that happened.
Yeah. Jumping back into the article, the wage bill of 25 million would have to come down to make the club sustainable, probably by another 10 million. And a year in League One may well allow the club to reset. So that's what was said previously. So another year we're resetting again, and the year we've just had we might see it in our revenue. But there is losses in that as well, Jake. Really, because we've not brought the wage bill down completely, because we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen the League one's going to be interesting to see how much we're currently hemorrhaging, because we were losing £500 million a week last season during COVID, but we've been relegated since then. The suggestion from Kieran Maguire was that Wednesday would be spending somewhere in the region of 14 million or 15 million on wages. The average wage bill in the Championship is 32 million.
And that's gonna change from when we went down. Like I said, next season's accounts are probably the ones that are going to be the most important to see what happened in League One.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about the losing 500 mil a week? Was it 500 mil? Or was it 500k? No, 500 mil? 500k. Why did I say 500 mil? 500k a week.
I think you got 500 mil from the stadium.
We're getting liquidated, mate. 500 mil a week. 500k.
It's not great, but at the same time, Chansiri has shown us in the past he's willing to fund the club. He's willing to keep funding the club. And a lot of people always forget that. They always think his money came from the tuna business, but actually a lot of his money came from construction in Thailand and stuff like that. And he does building work over there. So he knows what he's doing in that kind of sense. So the idea of like redoing the stadium sale and stuff actually makes sense if you think of him as a property developer in that's his background. So when we were all panicking him doing it, like that's probably nothing to him.
Who did we sell that season, by the way?
Which season? That season we went there?
Yeah. Who did we sell?
We sold someone, didn't we?
Because we made 6.7 million. This wasn't in the article. I'm looking in the accounts now. And for proceeds for the disposal of players employed. This could be just off the wage bill, to be honest. 6.7 million when
Are you sure that's not like Sammy Wynn or Fortieri and all that lot going?
It could well be, yes.
Because it was New Hugh, Wynn or Fortieri, Rhodes.
Clearing up yeah, that makes sense, wouldn't it? Clearing up 6.7 million across the year. That carry on.
It's gonna be as long as Chansiri's still willing to bankroll the club. I think we're okay because I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's learning a lot better with what he's done. He's seeing what you can do with not having to spend a lot. And the big one is that a lot of the stuff that a lot of people were complaining about was the green aspect in the club. We're replacing to LED floodlights. We're going to be doing more of that kind of stuff as well, which is important. And I was actually speaking to Worko, who got a geography major and stuff like that, and he was talking about it. He said Wednesday could actually make a lot of money by putting solar panels on the roofs and making it a lot more efficient and trying to change it all a little bit. And I'm wondering, it'd be interesting if Wednesday ever did go down that line, just to try and make it more sustainable that way.
There is a bit in it about energy in this document. I will find it. I was not expecting you to sidetrack with the energy talk, to be honest. Did you know, however, we offer a lot of kickstart schemes, 19 apparently, with 89% retention rate on the program afterwards. We do 101 for their BTEC extended diploma in sport. Got links with the likes of Hillsborough College, Chaucer School, Ecclesfield, quite a few on there. I always find these things interesting to read about.
Yeah, it's
I'm proper boring, aren't I?
You know, when you said at the beginning you were getting old and turning into an adult.
As soon as I put the glasses on, mate. As soon as I put the glasses on.
You do look like a bit of an accountant, to be fair.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I mean, I could be called worse, to be honest.
I'm going to say that after me being kind.
Yeah. Is there going to be, if you've not been following, is there going to be some sort of relief for the fact that we've obviously made heavier losses in that season because of COVID? You've not been able to bring in the profits. Wednesday, we were already losing money, but it got worse because, financial fair play. They're still going to be knocking at the door going, oh, you've just lost a lot of money, when it wasn't really Wednesday's fault about the attendances and tickets because of COVID. So this is from inews.co.uk. Interesting. That sounds like a news outlet where people would get their vaccine facts from, doesn't it? But anyway, it seems legitimate. I'm going for the article here. Quote, the Football League has relaxed its financial fair play rules, joining the Premier League in helping clubs to deal with the pandemic's impact. But regulation changes are causing confusion for clubs across the English game trying to prove losses incurred directly by COVID-19. The EFL's regulations have been updated to include a clause permitting its clubs in the Championship, League One and League Two to exclude, quote, COVID-19 costs for the 2019-20 and the 2021 season from their reported expenditure. Appendix 5 of the regulations now includes factoring in, quote, lost revenues and or exceptional costs incurred by a club that are directly attributable to the COVID-19 pandemic and that are identified and calculated in accordance with such guidance as issued by the board, end quote. This must be subjected to an independent audit and helps ensure their spending is compliant with financial fair play restrictions. More detailed guidance has also been sent to all clubs, yet where it has become particularly uncertain is clubs attempting to prove potential loss of future earnings due to the pandemic, decreasing the value of their playing squad. So there is bits in there to protect the clubs, but it does seem quite vague.